For part 1, this is position A. For part 1B, this is the position. Part 1C, this is the position. And part 1D, this is the position. All right, part 3 of the lab asks you to pair the moon phase with the time of day. I'm going to review the time of days with you real quick. This time of day would be noon because Malta is right here directly facing the sun. This time of day would be 6 p.m. because the sun is setting in the west in Malta. This time of day would be midnight because the sun is directly opposite Malta. And when the earth rotates around to this point, it is dawn. This is when the sun is rising, and this would be 6 a.m. So to review, 12 noon, 6 p.m., Malta at midnight, and Malta at 6 a.m. Okay? We're going to throw the moon in now. It asks you to move Malta to position and the moon to position 1. Okay, and that would be this position. And it's asking you what phase of the moon is this. This is the phase that we can only see the dark side of the moon. And then it also asks you what time will the moon rise and set. So from this position, let's move the moon to its rising position. Where the moon is rising is where it is barely visible in the east in Malta. So the earth would have to be here for the moon to be rising. What time of day is this? Likewise, to get the setting time, the moon sets when it gets lower, lower, lower in the sky and eventually gets on a horizon. And that's where when the earth is at this position relative to the moon. So when the moon is in its phase where we only see the darkest of sides, Malta is here. The moon is in the western sky setting. What time of day is this again? Part B asks you to spin the earth so that Malta is back at noon. Okay, so we're going to do that. But it asks you to move the moon to position 2. That would be this position here. Where in the sky will the moon be for Malta? And Malta is right here. And what part of the sky or what direction do you have to look to see the moon? Where in the sky does the moon appear to be in India? Uh-oh. Okay, Malta, if Malta is here, India is actually over here. So if you were in India, where in the sky would the moon be? Malta, at this time, the moon is in the east. In India, the moon would be in the... Part C asks you to move the moon to position 3. So we're going to move the moon back to position 3 here. And it asks you what phase this is. What phase is it when the moon is here? Okay. It doesn't matter where you are on Earth. The Earth will spin around all day and night like this, and the moon will stay right here, the entire lit up side visible to us. What phase is that? What time will the moon rise in Malta? With the moon being positioned here, what time will it rise? Well, the moon rises when it's in our eastern sky, so we have to spin Malta to this position. What time of day is this for Malta? What time of day is it in Malta when the moon sets? When it's in this position. What time of day is that? Number 25 asks, what phase do the people in Australia see? I'm going to help you out with this one. Malta is here, Australia is here. The moon is still here. They still see the complete lighted up side of the moon. So what phase is that again? Everybody on Earth sees it all day and night. It doesn't matter where you are. The moon will rise in the east, set in the west, and it will always be completely lit up when it's in this position. All right, part 4 today is going to have us looking at eclipses. An eclipse is where the moon actually passes in front of the Earth to block the Earth's view of the sun. That would be when solar eclipses. And you can see that as I pass the moon in front, you can actually see the shadow. It makes the W and the E for a moment. When the moon goes through this, where it passes in front of the sun, that's called a solar eclipse. That's when solar is eclipsed from our view. So that's a solar eclipse. And when the moon passes behind the Earth's shadow and it's no longer lit up, See that? That's when Luna is eclipsed from our view, so that's a lunar eclipse. So, when the Earth is experiencing a solar eclipse, the moon is here. What phase is that? What phase is it when Luna blocks, when the view of the sun or solar is eclipsed from our view, solar eclipse. What phase is this moon in during a solar eclipse? When Luna is eclipsed from our view, the moon is here. Luna becomes eclipsed from our view because it passes through the Earth's shadow. So what phase is the moon in when Luna is eclipsed?